This is what actually happens to a 44-year-old body during 28 days of doing zero physical activity. After my last major work project burned me out entirely, I skipped the gym, avoided walking the neighborhood, and refused to do a single push-up. You assume sitting still keeps your physique exactly the same, suspended in time until you decide to start moving again. That logic fails utterly after 40 because an aging body actively discards whatever it doesn't currently need. You just fail to notice the structural losses early on. The first 7 days passed without any visible consequence. Mornings brought a minor stiffness, sure, but my daytime energy remained surprisingly steady. I told myself this extended rest felt earned and necessary. My internal glycogen stores sat comfortably full, and my skeletal tissue stayed firmly put. It seemed perfectly harmless to exist without straining.
That illusion shattered rapidly because week 2 introduced a harsh internal shift. My sleep schedules deteriorated, leaving me wide awake at 4 in the morning, staring blankly at the ceiling. An aggressive fatigue hit by 2 in the afternoon every single day. I started hunting through the kitchen for sugary snacks like a bored teenager. A 2022 University of Missouri study explains the precise biology behind this sudden change. Researchers found that healthy men cutting their daily steps sharply experience a sudden drop in an insulin-regulating protein called atropine. Without regular movement, your muscles stop demanding glucose, so systemic insulin sensitivity plummets within 10 days. The unused sugar floats around your bloodstream. This triggers mild inflammation, which ruins your circadian rhythm. Cortisol spikes to compensate for the disruption, and the result is a physiological chain reaction that turns a grown man into an exhausted, irritable mess. Which meant I entered week 3 operating on deeply faulty internal wiring. I climbed 2 flights of carpeted stairs and arrived at the top gasping for air. These were the very same steps I navigated in heavy wool suits for years without breaking a sweat. My lower back began seizing up from stepping out of my sedan. Sitting down on the living room floor to play with my kid suddenly required a loud, involuntary grunt. Endurance physiologist Dr. Paul Larson notes that mitochondrial enzyme activity slows down severely within just 1 week of inactivity. By day 14, your body actively destroys those microscopic cellular powerhouses to conserve energy. Worse, a drop in blood plasma volume of up to 12% occurs in that same brief window, according to 1986 cardiovascular research by Coyle and colleagues. With less fluid to pump, a neglected heart shrinks. It loses left ventricle mass, forcing it to beat much faster just to keep you upright during trivial tasks. The true physical cost of that biological collapse finally revealed itself roughly a month into my experiment. I caught my reflection after a hot shower and barely recognized the guy staring back through the steam. My frame looks soft, slumped forward, and noticeably gray around the eyes. The bathroom scale barely moved a single pound, but my actual shape had shifted terribly. I appeared half a decade older than I did just 30 days prior. Dr. Dan Cuthbertson presented findings at the 2017 European Congress on Obesity, showing that 14 days of sedentary behavior causes large, lean mass depletion. Water follows glycogen straight out of the tissue, leaving your muscles visibly deflated and flat. Because an older metabolism slows down during periods of rest, the body shifts to storing visceral fat, right in the center of the abdomen. Aging changes the biological rules, making a passive month a particularly destructive event. The brutal reality is that a 40-year-old body operates very differently than it did at 25. It acts as a leaking bucket, not a secure savings account. Every day you avoid putting a little effort in, it drains a measurable amount of mechanical function. Most guys beat themselves up for resting, but taking a bad week off remains completely fine. 4 continuous weeks of zero activity, however, strips away baseline cellular energy. Trying to reverse this damage by jumping straight back into a punishing 5-day lifting routine usually backfires. That familiar trap killed your last attempt to get fit. The actual solution involves doing the smallest possible physical action every morning to plug the biological leak. I perform push-ups in my underwear before brewing coffee. I hold a static plank until it burns, then hit a few basic bodyweight squats. 3 minutes of daily effort generates enough electrical signal to retain your myonuclei and keep your cells responsive. Drop a comment below if you want the exact comeback routine I use now, and I will film a breakdown.